The Bahamas, 700 islands scattered across turquoise water, paradise by every definition. A place where people vacation to forget their problems. A place where families have lived for generations. In September 2019, that paradise was erased. Not damaged. Not flooded. Erased. Hurricane Dorian formed in the Atlantic Ocean in late August 2019. What made meteorologists go silent was not just its strength, it was its behavior. Dorian reached Category 5 with winds of 295 kilometers per hour, the strongest Atlantic hurricane ever recorded to make landfall in history. But then it did something no major hurricane should do. It stopped. Right over the Bahamas. It stopped moving entirely. For nearly 24 hours, Hurricane Dorian sat completely still over the Abaco Islands in Grand Bahama, grinding, spinning, destroying like a lawnmower, held in one place over the same patch of ground. Hour after hour after hour, the same communities. The same families, the same homes, pounded relentlessly for an entire day. When Dorian finally moved away, what was left of the Bahamas was unrecognizable. Entire neighborhoods on Abaco Island had simply ceased to exist. Homes were not damaged. They were gone. Foundations were all that remained. Over 13,000 homes were destroyed or severely damaged. 70% of all buildings on Grand Bahama gone. The official death toll reached 7 but hundreds of people were reported missing. Hundreds. And here is what made people angry. The international aid response was slow. Ships with supplies waited offshore for days. Bureaucratic delays held up relief efforts, while survivors sat on rooftops in the heat without food or clean water, surrounded by destruction, waving at passing aircraft, begging to be seen. Children, elderly, people. Families who had lost everything, waiting days for basic help to arrive. In 2019, with all the technology and resources the world has, they waited. Scientists who studied Dorian were alarmed by what it revealed. The storm intensified from a Category 1 to a Category 5 in just 24 hours, a process called rapid intensification. The fuel behind that explosion of power was the abnormally warm water of the Atlantic Ocean, water that has been heating up steadily for decades. Warmer oceans create stronger storms. Stronger storms slow down and dump more rain and more destruction in one place. Dorian was not just a natural disaster. It was a preview. Climate scientists warned that what Dorian did to the Bahamas, stalling, intensifying, destroying, would become more common as ocean temperatures continued to rise. The Bahamas contributed almost nothing to the carbon emissions that warmed those oceans. Yet they paid the highest price. But the Bahamian people did not disappear with their homes. Within days of Dorian moving away, volunteers from across the Caribbean and the world arrived on the islands. Boats loaded with food, medicine, and building supplies crossed the water. Bahamian communities that had survived the storm organized rescue teams to search for the missing. The people of Abaco and Grand Bahama, who had lost nearly everything, were already talking about rebuilding before the debris had even been cleared. Because that is what people do. They rebuild. They return. They refuse to let a storm, no matter how powerful, define the end of their story. Dorian took their homes. It did not take their identity. It did not take their resilience. It did not take their future. The islands of the Bahamas are still there, still beautiful, still breathing, still standing. And the people who call them home are still there too. Hurricane Dorian was the strongest landfalling Atlantic hurricane in recorded history, but it could not erase the spirit of the people it hit. Remember their names. Remember what happened here. And remember, the storms are getting stronger. The question is, are we ready? Hurricane Dorian, 295 kilometers per hour winds, 24 hours standing still, 74 lives lost, hundreds missing. The strongest Atlantic hurricane ever to make landfall, and a warning the world cannot ignore. Subscribe for more untold disaster stories.